Good morning. Welcome back to A Life Worth Living. I'm Frederick Groth, and I believe that God has a plan and purpose for everyone, and He gave you a message of hope and truth to show you a life worth living. This morning, as numbers climb, so we climb higher. Numbers chapter 4. Now, this chapter also talks about specialization, and specifically about the specialization of the tabernacle. There was something in here that I wanted to make note of, as we talked about specialization on the last video, and that is God set up age limits. Now, one thing I find interesting before I get into this is there's no word for retire in Hebrew. There are just different stages of life that people would continue to work in a different fashion. The way God set it up in the Old Testament, the people working on the tabernacle worked from age 30 to 50. So what did the other people do? Up to age 30 and past age 50. Well, if you're going to specialize, you need to learn. And so up to age 30 is your learning period. Learn what you need to do and how you need to do it. And then after age 50, that is when you teach those that are under age 30 how to do what they need to do. So there is a complete process of learning, doing, and then teaching. Learning, doing, and then teaching. And the same principle applied to even the soldiers, because the people of God had mandatory military service. And those 20 ages to 60 were required to be a part of the military. But what we must understand is that wasn't their only job. And the same thing with the people that worked around the tabernacle. That wasn't their only job. They would have family businesses. They would, be rug makers. They would be pot makers. They would be iron workers and embroiderers and all these other different jobs. That was their day-to-day work. Their specialization work had age limits. And so I believe this is a good principle for us to think about. We need to spend a certain part of our time, our life, learning about what we want to specialize in. And learning from people that can mentor us. The older generation. Sure, we can learn some new techniques and we can develop some new things, but the basic principles we need to learn from the older generation because they've been there, they've done it, and they've succeeded. And so if we're going to specialize, it really behooves us to find a mentor, to find somebody to bring us up, to help us, to teach us, to get our mindset changed so that we can use our creativity to the best of our ability for that specialization. See, a lot of the problem isn't that we don't have the ability, but rather our mindset is so out of tune with that specialization that it's difficult for us to even imagine what we ought to do. And so it's the mentor's job to help shape our mind so that we can think right. And so young people, listen to your elders, not so much because, it's something good to do, and we need to do it because it is good to do, but more because you're going to learn so much from them if you'll just listen. I've got a couple friends down in the States that whenever they get a chance to find a senior citizen, they will ask them, what can you teach me? They will ask them, what is your best advice for success? They'll ask them questions and glean new knowledge. So, in your specialization, take time to learn it, take time to do it, and take time to share it back to the next generation. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Now it is time to get up and go.